Hey, what is up, mortals? It's NierVen here, and welcome to part 1 of What If Naruto characters had mobile suits. Just wanted to greet you guys by saying sit back and relax, you're in for a treat. And so, we begin. The Ninja Academy graduation test had arrived, and tensions are at an all-time high among the young ninja, as this test not only grants the passing students the rank of Genin, but also allows them to choose their own mobile suits. But there was one student that the entire class was hoping would fail. It was Naruto Uzumaki. Young Naruto's exam time was late in the day, mainly because Iruka wanted to prevent any fights between the other students and Naruto, as it had become a common enough event during Naruto's time in the academy. But all this precaution did was raise Naruto's anxiety, as he knew that chakra control was not his strong suit. Thinking it was just his nerves, he attempted to take a deep breath and steadying his breathing. Unbeknownst to him, within his young body sits Kurama, the nine-tailed fox, trapped by iron bars and chakra seals, stewing in impotent rage as he bears the shame of being bested by a mere human and being forced to live within a frail frame of his spawn.
One day I will escape Minato, and I will show these humans what my rage truly feels like,
Kurama says through the bars of the prison. While Kurama plans his escape, Naruto finishes getting dressed for his appointment with Iruka and the other instructors. After reaching the bottom of the steps, he sees his mother looking at a picture of her and his father, Minato. They didn't discuss Minato very often, as whenever Kushina talked about Minato, he seemed to be on the verge of tears, and not wanting to upset his mother, Naruto often shied away from the topic.
Mom! I'm heading for the test meeting! Wish me luck, okay?
Naruto said as he reached for the door handle. Before Naruto could make it through the doorway, Kushina walks over to her son and embraces him.
Honey, good luck with your test today. And remember, your father is very proud of you.
A tear begins to fall down her face as she releases her son and watches him leave to begin his journey. As the evening lights fall on the village, Naruto reaches the testing room and stands before Iruka and the other instructors. All right, Naruto. In order to pass this exam and continue on to the rank of Genin, you must demonstrate adequate control of your chakra through the creation of clones and activating the test console that's on your left. You must succeed in both tasks to pass the exam. Are you ready?
Yes!
Naruto then puts his hands together and performs the necessary hand signs for the cloning jutsu, but fails to produce a viable clone. As Naruto opens his eyes and catches a glimpse of his cloning attempt, his heart sinks to the floor. Kurama then begins to chuckle with glee as he takes pleasure in Naruto's failure. I'm sorry, Naruto. You failed this exam and will not be granted the rank of Genin. Naruto sank to his knees, doing his best to prevent tears streaming down his face.
Maybe you'll pass next time.
Naruto is then escorted out of the building by Iruka. Hey, why don't we go out for ramen, Naruto?
Sure.
Naruto follows Iruka to the ramen shops. As he walks down the street, Naruto feels eyes on him as he looks dejected, and he could swear that the people watching him were grinning, as if they were pleased with his failure to progress to advance again. He also felt as a rumble in his stomach, though. He just dismissed it as a sign of hunger. After reaching the ramen shop and taking seats, Naruto and Iruka greeted by the shop owner, who was one of the few people who didn't look at Naruto with disdain, though that may be to Naruto spending most of his allowance in his shop, rather than any sense of friendliness.
Iruka-sensei? Why did I fail?
Well, it was probably just your nerves, Naruto. Shouldn't beat yourself up over it. You'll get it next year.
I don't think so, Iruka. I don't think I'll ever pass while I have this damn fox inside of me,
Naruto says before slamming his hands on the counter. Iruka turned his face towards Naruto with a look of shock in his face. Not because of the profanity, but because he wasn't supposed to know about Kurama. Naruto's status as a Jinchuriki was supposed to be a closely guarded secret, but unfortunately, it had leaked out through gossip. Naruto, how did you find out about that?
Come on, Iruka-sensei, I'm not stupid. Everyone looks at me like I'm some monster. I hear whispers about a fox inside of me. I put it all together a while back.
Naruto's expression changed from depressed to angry as his teeth began to grit together as he got up from his seat.
Actually, Iruka-sensei, I've lost my appetite. Have a good night,
Naruto said before leaving the shop and walking out onto the city streets. After an hour of wandering around the city streets, Naruto's mind was still clouded in anger and frustration. After walking into an alley, he begins punching the building's walls until his knuckles become bloody.
I failed! I couldn't make one lousy clone. Well, it was the nerves of this damn fox. I can't become Hokage,
Naruto said before in rage hitting himself in the gut hard enough to make himself fall to his knees.
Dad, why? Why did you put this fox inside of me? Why'd you have to do this to me?
Naruto asked himself as he falls to his side. Sometime after he fell asleep, too tired to stay awake and too ashamed to return to his mother. As the morning light filters into the alley, Naruto feels something pick him up and opening his eyes to find himself in the arms of one Kakashi Hatake.
Uncle Kakashi?
Naruto asks in a croaky voice as he wakes up. Good morning, Naruto. Do you mind telling me why you're asleep in this alley? Kakashi asked in a friendly tone.
I failed my graduation test.
I heard. But we go and get you cleaned up before we take you home. I'm sure your mother's worried. Kakashi then carries Naruto back home, where Naruto refreshes himself, while Kakashi prepares breakfast before he leaves for a mission. After 10 minutes, Naruto comes out clean in his typical outfit.
Uncle Kakashi, you know why my father sealed the nine-tailed fox inside of me?
Kakashi's usual cool demeanor seemed to crack slightly at the mention of the tailed beast. He took a moment to collect himself before responding while preparing breakfast. No, he was already gone by the time I reached you, and your mother. And your mother wouldn't tell me what he did, or why he did it. But I know if Minato-sensei did something, he usually had a good reason for it.
If you say so, Uncle Kakashi. All I know is that with this thing inside of me, my chakra just seems to be restricted.
Maybe. You have to remember, Naruto. A ninja's chakra is his and his alone, and no force can stop it. So it may just be your chakra is responding to your emotions. Naruto sits for a bit before standing up.
Uncle Kakashi, can I have this thing removed? I mean, I know that we can't let it run in the wild, but can't someone else be stuck with this thing?
Unfortunately, I don't think so. Upon hearing those words, Naruto grit his teeth before making a decision.
Well then, I guess it just means I have to just beat this fox and become Hokage in spite of it!
Naruto says, while bearing a defiant grin. Kakashi turns to see the now confident Naruto baring his teeth with a signature grin, and it was almost as if Minato was standing in front of him.
Thanks for picking me up, Uncle Kakashi. I think I'll head home now, and then go to the forest and train, you know? Prepare for that next exam.
Oh, all right, Kakashi said, not really knowing what else to say before the young man bolted out of his home. Kakashi then goes back to preparing his breakfast. He really is your son, Minato. Naruto heads straight home and doesn't even get a word in before his mother begins ranting.
Where have you been? I've been worried sick! Why didn't you come home?
Naruto then takes a break for a moment before his mother could take another breath and continue her motherly rant.
I'm sorry. I was down after failing my exam, and I didn't want to come home in disappointment.
Kushina then bonks Naruto in the head with her frying pan.
Ow! Why'd you do that, Mom? That's for thinking you could ever disappoint me. You're my son. I'll always be proud of you.
After that, Naruto looked up at his mother before hugging her.
Mom, I need to go train. I mean, if I want to pass that graduation test next year, I need to start now. Of course. Just make sure you're home by dinner time. Deal.
Naruto then starts heading for the forest, where he spends several hours practicing the Shadow Clone Jutsu for the entire morning and afternoon. After a while, he decides to take a break and walk around the area behind the Hokage faces. After reaching the backside of the mountain, he noticed a smooth section of rock that almost looked like a door. Naruto inspected the portion of rock and found a button that caused the rock to move, revealing a mix between a vault and a mechanic's workroom. Naruto enters the room and locks eyes on a massive humanoid-shaped mobile suit that stood in the middle of the room. A strange and otherworldly voice seemed to be emanating from the machine as its eyes lit up, as if it had been sleeping.
Naruto.
The machine moaned as Naruto got closer to it, but went dead silent after Naruto's hand rested on the machine's leg.
What are you?
Naruto asks as he inspects the machine, until his eyes land on a mechanical lift, which he uses to make his way onto the suit's cockpit, which seemed familiar, as he had been inside before. After taking a seat inside the cockpit, Naruto reaches for the controls, but as he wraps his hand around the handles, a sound like a toolbox falls on the ground, which causes Naruto to sink further into the cockpit, in order to stop whoever else was in the room from detecting him. After a moment, Naruto took a short peek and spotted a man with the blue hair taking a large scroll out of a section of wall.
Mizuki?
Naruto whispered, as Mizuki strapped the scroll to his back and headed out the room, after which something large could be heard heading away from the cave, most likely Mizuki's mobile suit. Naruto then hopped out of his hiding place and did his best to follow Mizuki. After a few minutes, this large scroll that was now inside a large case on the mobile suit's back came into Naruto's view. And in a split-second decision, he took a rock and threw it, cracking the glass, which caused the scroll to spill out onto the forest floor. But the mobile suit continues to march forward, seemingly unaware of its lost cargo. After allowing some distance, Naruto retrieved the scroll, which seemed to contain jutsu techniques and information on something called a Kurama Gundam. While young Naruto inspected the scroll's content, he began to practice the techniques. Jonin convened with the third Hokage in response to the scroll's theft.
The sacred scroll has been taken,
the third Hokage tells his Jonin.
We must find it immediately. Do we have any suspects?
I bet you it was Naruto. Maybe that demon inside him finally woke up and is trying to break the seal.
A random Jonin blurts out.
No, Naruto isn't a bad kid. Plus, how could he have found the scroll? It was in the lockup with the Kurama Gundam's hangar bay. Why would he take the scroll and not the Gundam?
Iruka says in Naruto's defense.
Whether Naruto is guilty or innocent of stealing the scroll is irrelevant. All that matters is retrieving the scroll before any foreign shinobi get their hands on it. Now go!
Said the third Hokage as all the Jonin rushed to find the missing scroll. While the Jonin scoured the village and surrounding forest, Mizuki sits in a small clearing before disembarking his Shin-2, and going to check on the scroll, only to find the scroll gone and the glass cracked. This sends Mizuki into a rage as he rushes back in order to retrieve the lost scroll. As the sun began to set, Iruka found Naruto sitting with the scroll, after disembarking his Shin-2. He approached Naruto, hoping that this wasn't what it looked like.
Naruto, do you mind telling me why you have the sacred scroll of sealing?
Well, Iruka-sensei, I saw Mizuki-sensei take the scroll out of this room with the strange mobile suit inside it. So I decided to follow him and get the scroll back, but I, got curious and decided to read the scroll. And I've been practicing all day and even got to make a few shadow clones. Wait, you said Mizuki?
Iruka said before being cut off by Mizuki launching an anti-mobile suit kunai into Iruka's Shin-2, as Iruka jumps to protect Naruto from any falling debris. After Iruka's Shin-2 crashes onto the forest floor, Mizuki then uses his Shin-2 to pick up Iruka as Naruto moves away in terror.
Oh, poor pathetic Naruto. You just had to run your trap. And tell Iruka here that I was the one who stole the scroll. You know what that means, huh? Well, in case you're too stupid to understand, it means you two will die. And then I'll take the scroll to my buyer. And guess what, Naruto? It's all your fault!
How is this my fault?
Why do you think anyone would want this scroll?
It has the necessary sealing jutsu to release the Nine-Tailed Fox, which means all someone have to do is learn the sealing technique and then capture you, and they can wreak havoc on any village they please, and then make their own Nine-Tails Jinchuriki. Because that's all you're good for, Naruto. You're nothing more than a weapon, a tool to be used for others' benefit. You'll never be Hokage, and you will die here right by my hand,
Mizuki says, before tightening his Shin-2's grip on Iruka's damaged body as he was trying to squeeze a tomato.
No! Stop it! Leave Iruka-sensei alone!
Naruto yells, with tears in his eyes. Back in the Kurama Gundam's hangar, the Gundam's eye lit aglow with a lime-green light before teleporting out of the hangar. As Iruka falls unconscious, Naruto falls into despair and resigns himself to his fate, but is jarred out of this state by the sound of a mobile suit's fist slamming onto Mizuki's Shin-2 and Iruka falling to the forest floor. When Naruto opened his eyes and the Kurama Gundam was standing in front of him, before placing a small device next to Iruka's body, which seemed to act as a healing device. The Gundam then turns to Naruto and looks him directly in the eyes, almost beckoning him to enter the cockpit, which he does after Mizuki's Shin-2 begins to stand back up. Once inside the Gundam, a suit forms around Naruto's body, with a cord connected from Naruto's stomach seal to the console. This caused Naruto's stomach to light aglow with an orange light in the shape of the Jinchuriki seal.
How dare you! You Walking mistake. I'm Mizuki, a tuning of the village hidden in the leaves, and I will be the instrument of your destruction! How about you shut up, Mizuki? Naruto says before engaging the Gundam's Shadow Clone Jutsu protocol, creating at least 100 copies of the suit for they'll rush Mizuki, utterly demolishing his machine before pulling Mizuki out of the mangled cockpit.
Oh, and Mizuki, if you ever lay a hand on Iruka-sensei, or anyone else I care about, I will kill you.
Naruto adds, with his eyes resembling that of the nine-tailed fox. After tossing Mizuki aside, Naruto disembarks from his Gundam and goes to check on Iruka while in his shadows.
Iruka-sensei! Are you okay? Better now, Naruto. Thanks for saving my life.
Iruka says before passing out. Later that morning, some Jonin found Naruto, Iruka, and Mizuki, and with Iruka's testimony, Naruto was granted the rank of Genin for his actions in saving Iruka and securing the scroll, and was assigned to Team 7 with Kakashi Hatake, Sakura Haruno, and Sasuke Uchiha, before they were assigned to escort a bridge builder back to the Land of Waves. Naruto's journey to become Hokage had finally begun, and now only time will tell if he can overcome the challenges that lie ahead. Thank you all for indulging yourselves in the story thus far. Hope you enjoyed it. There's a few more things I'd like to go over before this video ends. Firstly, we got a primary channel called We the Celestials. We the Celestials is what we do here already, but their content is centered on the crazy world and lore of My Hero Academia. So please, check us out over there if you're feeling in the mood for a roller coaster of quirky content. We also have another relative to our channel, Anime Deep Dive. Anime Deep Dive goes deep into the facts and lore of a wide variety of anime. It's sure to expand your weeb knowledge for all kinds of series, guaranteed. I'd like to let you all know on behalf of We the Celestials, I'd like to thank everyone involved in production of today's awesome content. Their details will be down in the description below. If you perhaps are interested in what we do here at We the Celestials, then would like to extend our invitation to join the team. The only caveat being we only accept members 16 or older to join our crew. You can find us on Discord, which you can locate in the description below. Our Discord is an all-around fantastic place to be, whether you're a fan or looking to join our band of misfits. All you gotta do is hit up the recruitment server and sign up for whatever category of work fulfills your interest. We're always looking for members to join us. Well, that's it for today's video, so thank you all for watching, and have a great day.